Welcome to coverage of round 3 of the Rotax Max Challenge here in South Africa. We're in Cape Town, the mother city, and down at the Killarney International Racetrack. And in Micromax, it's going to be a massive battle at the front end because we've got Muhammad Wally up there, Reese Koorzen, and of course the Reza Levy will be in with a shot here, particularly at his home track, looking to just impress everybody in Micromax.
A very nervous qualifying there. Tell me how things went for you.
Well, I think that I had it at a stage, and then the top 6 guys came out, and I think they were going quick, and they found something that I haven't yet. And until we find that, I think then I can be able to compete at the front there with them.
Second row of a grid. That's a great place to start.
Well, yeah, it is really good. Anyone in front of me is going to be an obstacle, and they're going to be in the way of getting first, and that's going to be a problem. They're going to go fast, and in order to get in front of them, I've got to go faster. So it's going to be a bit of a competition.
Well, I think tomorrow's going to be tough, but I'm going to come first, and hopefully me, Muhammad and Reese would pull away from the back pack, and in quali I was just pushing hard, but the grip was very terrible in golf club.
I think I'm going to do good, and I'm going to win it, and hopefully thank God, because I qualified second, and hopefully I think I'm going to do good tomorrow, and I just want to win championship, the national one, and it's all about the big trophy.
Yeah, I can only start with thanking God for getting my engine to be so fast and helped me to win qualifying. And inshallah, I'll win all 4 races tomorrow.
Tomorrow, lots of overtaking always on this circuit because there's a lot of overtaking opportunity. How are you going to handle it?
Yeah, inshallah, I'll pull away tomorrow and win from there.
It's one thing. Who's the competition going to come from?
I think the competition will come from Joshua De Paiva, Troy Sneeman, Reza Levy, and Reese Koorzen.
So as you can hear, Carl Lawrence, we're in for a bit of a fight here. These youngsters are not going to hold anything back. And Muhammad Wally particularly looking for opportunity now to try and extend here in this championship and get away. Hopefully secure himself a championship by the end of the season. He leads into turn 1 as they come through there. Everybody else just trying to find their way through turn 1. And it looks like Wally might just have the slight advantage at this point.
The only class where I've seen out-of-towner out-qualify the Cape Town boys is Bjorn Bertholdt gets a bit argy-bargy there with Luviwe from Squadron Courses. They head through into the chicane. He got it done. There was 2 switchbacks there in 2 corners. Good driving from the 2 of them there.
Yeah, Samabula and Vichy just caught out there ever so slightly, but let's keep our attentions at the front end as they head up towards us. You can see the first 4 karts very evenly matched. Small gap down to 5th, but Wally trying to just get away from this pack. Look out for Joshua De Paiva as well, and Troy Sneeman. Troy Sneeman always in the mix, and a little bit of a hard charger at on some occasions, and could potentially be in the mix again here, as we've seen the 699 just fend off the rest of this field. Oh, but he loses out as he just runs ever so slightly wide through turn number 1, and an opportunity of note there being taken up by Reese Koorzen.
Yeah, the usual contenders are getting a little bit tired of Muhammad Wally and his tight lines he takes in the first 5 laps, so a little bit of a nudge there to get his line in. Don't think the CRC will see anything wrong with that, but Reese Koorzen gets into the front there. Our other usual contender that's missing from this group is Joshua De Paiva, but expect him to get onto this group very, very shortly.
He's just in the background there, picking up on the helmet. You can see De Paiva starting to close things down on those first 4. But if they continue to fight, the first 4 will slow each other up automatically and allow the second pack to join them. So it could potentially be changing from 4 karts into 9 karts, because there's 5 karts just behind, very evenly matched.
You can see they're so used to the slipstream here at the circuit. The 2 Cape Townians, they run deep inside. They know that with a major slipstream at the circuit, you can just get driven straight past before you even get to the apex of the corner.
Now looking to come into the 180s. Very, very close. Koorzen hanging on for now, but only just. Because he's got, as I said, 3 karts and then a small gap that's come down even more now as the rest of this field start to close things in.
Joshua Schmidt, Bjorn Bertholdt and Ken Swart having a bit of a humdinger there with Casey and Smith just behind them. The Jogo boys showing a bit more pace in this class than we were in the other classes as we head now into Golf Club. It's Reese Koorzen ahead of the Reza Levy and Muhammad Wally just behind him.
No.
Troy Sneijman seems to be dropping off slightly as we get to the pit complex here. Maybe Joshua De Paiva getting past him will pull him onto the back of the group.
De Paiva is certainly on a move here. De Paiva looking for a chance to possibly get into the top 3. And defensive driving. Very defensive driving from Reza has opened up the door. Wally comes alongside him. Koorzen goes defensive into the 180s. Late on the brakes from all 3 karts. How they got through there, only they know. Wow, that was close. Very, very close stuff and incredible action. Now, second pack coming through there as well. Casey Enzel-Smith applying some big pressure and looking for a way through, as you said, on Josh Schmidt. So a little bit of a change up there, I think, expected. But have a look at this action at the front end. It is so, so close. Reese Koorzen hanging on for now. Wally in second, Reza into third, and Reza Levy certainly looking like he's up for the challenge here. Troy Sneijman has been able to bridge that gap again now, and it was basically because of the fight that was happening with the top 3.
Luviva having to hang on to this front group, and he's doing really well to do so, putting down some really good lap times here in Cape Town.
Sambudla, not quite the man who normally runs this high up in Cape Town, but definitely getting to grips with conditions here today, and it's ideal conditions for karting. Cool conditions in the ambient temperature, great track conditions, and of course now the fight of note for micros.
Muhammad Wally getting his head down now to get onto the back of Reese Koorzen. You'll see the slipstream I was talking about here in the back straight. They'll all pull nice and close together before they get to the right hand here.
The way that they're going at the moment, Josh De Paiva is probably the fastest man on track. De Paiva, yes, just putting in the fastest lap of the race and starting to close things down now onto that front pack. So Josh De Paiva all of a sudden is now in the mix and has a chance of squeezing out Troy Sneijman. Troy Sneijman's going to lose out here. Watch this. De Paiva comes onto the main straight. Oh, Sneijman goes right across him. What was that? Troy Sneijman just slamming the door shut and going right across the circuit to defend the attack coming from Josh De Paiva.
Josh De Paiva thought, okay, you're going to squeeze me, I'll show you. I'll go around the outside. Unfortunately, he couldn't get it done, but he's a man on a mission and he will get past Sneijman in time to come.
Yeah, look at that now, looking for a chance. He's got much better drive coming out of the 180s. Let's see if he's able to make it stick. We saw a couple of guys trying some in and out maneuvers heading towards the latter part of the track. Oh, that is fantastic defensive driving coming out of Koorzen. Koorzen goes right and just stays right, doesn't let anybody come near that inside line. That means Muhammad Wally and Reza Levy are going to have to try and find another way around. Not an easy thing to do here at this track.
These cars are so evenly matched that the slipstream makes a massive difference. You see them all pull inside again to hang on to their position into the first corner. Joshua De Paiva going to try the outside line again. He knows it doesn't work, but he's going to try it regardless. Maybe get a run into the first 180.
I think he's trying to get the cut back there for the 180. You're going to have to go wide again because there is defensive driving coming out of Troy Sneijman. Sneijman not opening up the door whatsoever to give Josh De Paiva even a whiff of what is now 4th place on track.
They sound like a bunch of bees as they come past. You know, the 5 of them running nose to tail, super close together, super close racing, but Reese Koorzen's defensive driving, not allowing Muhammad Wally to get back in. There is a bit of space there on the entry into Golf Club if Muhammad wants to have a go down the inside there.
Levy is right there. If Muhammad Wally makes a mistake, Reza's going to go through. So he's looking to cut through this field like his, of course, his namesake, the Reza. And if he's able to do that, let's see whether or not that's the case. Heading back down towards turn 1. Wow. Defensive driving is what it's all about towards turn 1. The inside line is the only option that you've got to keep the rest of this pack at bay. And that's exactly what Koorzen is doing. Here comes Wally. Wally looking on the inside. Oh, Sneijman once again forcing De Paiva wide. De Paiva this time down the inside. Got him. He gets through this time. So unfortunately a mistake there from Troy Sneijman. He went a little bit too defensive. De Paiva capitalized and got through to 4th place. He now has to go defensive to keep out Troy Sneijman. And look at Muhammad Wally fending off the attack coming from Reza Levy.
What stuns me is the fact that these kids are running so defensive and maintaining such a tight line, and they're still able to run the lap times that they're running and get away from the rest of the field.
Incredible stuff out of this Micromax class. And once again, 5 karts head across the line, almost split by a second as they come down onto the braking markers. Josh De Paiva now is the man on the move. De Paiva means business. De Paiva wants to get through, and he's applying the pressure onto Levy. Goes wide, Levy goes on the inside, maintains that inside line. Watch the cutback though. Josh tried it the last time and he's done it again. Brilliantly done by Josh De Paiva. Squeezes out Reza Levy down to 4th place, De Paiva up to 3rd.
A little bit of contact there between De Paiva and Levy. Left the Reza a little bit slow out of the 180 and allowed Troy Sneijman to get past into the chicane.
Levy coming back at him into the Golf Club section now. Has he been able to make? No, he can't get through there. Troy Snyman just manages to get the drive through there and keep Levy at bay, but it's so close. These guys are really putting on a great dice here, and this is only heat 1 of 3. In fact, heat 1 of 4 to come in the Micromax.
Josh De Paiva, no need to go defensive there through the first corner because there's no one quite close enough to get past him. It's allowed him a good run and onto the back of Wally now into the first 180.
Wally looking to get to the front. He realizes De Paiva is on a move, and I think he wants to get a cart between himself and just, De Paiva, what a move! Dives on the inside, and Wally had no answer.
Josh has really perfected the cutback. These two are too busy fighting each other up front, and every time they come back to get the run out of the second 180, De Paiva's there to pick up the pieces.
And he's nailed it 4 times in a row there, which has moved him from 5th place to 2nd right now. One more of those and he'll hit the front. I don't know if it's going to be as easy to get through on our current race leader. And Koorzen is looking like he's up for the challenge. Couple of taps there. You've got to watch out for those nose cone infringements. You don't want to be hitting each other from behind and destroying those nose cones. It can be costly, particularly when you are so close and so evenly matched in terms of lap times.
Let's see if Josh has got a second cutback in him now as they head into the first 180. But Wally's down the inside. There wasn't much room there for him, but just enough to upset De Paiva's run out, so he couldn't have a go at Reese.
Reese lucky to survive that one, courtesy of Muhammad Wally. Muhammad Wally now trying to find a way through.
And right away, the group's all back together, all 5 of them back into the hunt for the lead.
Snyman bringing along Reza Levy just in the background now, losing a little bit of ground, but he's made it up again as Snyman has pulled both of them up into that 5-way pack. And the 5-way battle now crosses the line for another start of another lap. 12 laps of action coming your way here for the first 2 heats. And Muhammad Wally, he is so close. He looks on the inside. He's got through. He's got through on the straight past De Paiva. Just slightly better drive onto that main straight. De Paiva had no answer. He tries to come back at Wally now as they get on the brakes into the 180s. Koorzen makes a mistake. Wally on the inside. De Paiva's going to go with him. And Koorzen could protect. No, wow. Very lucky to survive and maintain that second. He loses the lead, but he keeps second place.
3-1 generally doesn't normally go, but Muhammad Wally now got 3 car links on the group behind him with not many laps to go.
Heading down into the right-hand sweep. So close between these guys, and it's now opened up ever so slightly. This is definitely the bigger gaps that we've had all race long. Muhammad Wally trying to get away, trying to put in the laps now, hopefully to maintain that lead. Reese Koorzen, we can see, was having some issues. He was starting to slip and slide, but it's just in time. The flag comes out. Wally hangs on. Koorzen comes through for second. Very good potential that he's going to be given a nose cone infringement, though. So Reese Koorzen will drop down to 6th place, unfortunately, with that nose cone infringement, which allows Josh De Paiva to come through for second and Troy Snyman to win out the battle for 3rd place. Luvive Simbudla comes through for 5th and Ken Swartz in 5th place.
My race was very good, but there's a lot of dicing, but I can only thank God for getting me to win it on the last lap.
Where you racing from?
We started and then the end came where they overtook me and then I was in 3rd and then God helped me to come to 1st on the last lap and win.
I started 6th, but I ended up 3rd because they forgot a block on the one corner. So I passed them on that corner.
Heat 2 now of the Micromax as they come round and get into those tram lines. It's Josh De Paiva, one of the hottest contenders from race number 1, who leads things out, and he'll have the whole shot opportunity if he can get the drive. But unfortunately, just losing out there as they head down into turn 1 to Troy Snyman. Troy Snyman getting the drop, getting the whole shot, and leads out ahead of De Paiva. He's got Levy on his tail, and Troy Snyman already going defensive to keep out the attack from what is now 6 cars behind him at the start of the second heat of Micromax.
Levy there losing out to Reese Koorzen now into the second 180. Levy were actually starting 4th in that race with his fastest lap time, putting him 4th in the grid, showing real pace here in Cape Town. And Ken Swartz also doing well as well.
Ken Swartz and Luvive Simbudla getting a complete turnaround in their seasons at the Cape Town round. Great to see them stepping up and using all of the track knowledge that they've learned through this 2 days of racing and putting it now into the race action that counts.
The front group again, the same 6 contenders we're used to seeing running for the front, same 5 contenders as they head down into turn 1. The defensive line started early, and Josh was going to try that outside line again. It didn't work for him in the first heat. Thought he'd give it another go now in the second heat.
Levy up to second, Josh De Paiva and fighting hard there with Wally. The 2 carts very evenly matched through there. Remember, Wally will be well aware of De Paiva's maneuvers into the 180s, which is why he went defensive through the second one, not to allow the opportunity of that open door for De Paiva to capitalize on. Now down the back straight. Looks like Levy trying to go around the outside. Wally's on the inside. Oh, yeah. I think Wally might have got through there. Has he? No?
No.
Just been able to hang on there. Levy hangs on for second.
This freight trainer carts, we're used to seeing 5, we're up to 7 now. Even Casey Angel Smith is on the back of this group, ready to fight for actually the lead.
Oh, it's great to see. Remember, these guys going defensive down this front straight because of the headwind and trying to avoid the slipstream effect that could potentially spoil their days. And that's why we see every single one diving to the right-hand side to avoid any opportunities. Levy applying the pressure now onto Troy Snyman. Snyman soaking it up. You can see Koorzen also under a bit of pressure there as well. And it's literally any one of these top 7 that can win this heat. And any mistakes at the front end are going to be very costly.
Yeah, it's turning into an absolute freight train here. It's unbelievable to see these amount of carts. Whoa, mistake there in the background. 3 or 4 carts off there into the interior golf club. But to see this many carts run this close together, something's about to go wrong.
We saw it. It's just 3 carts running wide. It just wasn't with the front end that we were worried about. Right, so now as they head down that main straightaway again, Troy Snyman, Levy, Wally, De Paiva, and Koorzen. That is how tight it is. Behind them, you got Ken Swartz, Bertholdt, even Devan Naidu starting to just show a little bit of promise for potentially getting through there and spoiling the day for a couple of drivers at the front end. It's great to see that throughout this pack, we've got potential race winners.
Casey making a move there on Ken Swartz to the second 180. Maybe he saw De Paiva's little cutback move in the first heat and used it to good effect himself as they head into Golf Club now. The front 2 seem to have pulled a bit of a gap there. 3 car lengths on Joshua De Paiva behind them.
It's fantastic to see as they come out now to complete another lap. Small margin between the top 2 now. They've pulled a little bit of a gap there, and that's because De Paiva and Wally have been fighting so frantically between each other. Levy trying to go on the inside, but there's no door there on the inside opening up. De Paiva gets through and maintains that 3rd place ahead now of Muhammad Wally. Muhammad Wally biding his time though, taking his time, ensuring that he gets through, and he's going to have to push hard now because the pressure from behind could potentially spoil his day. You can see that all of a sudden Koorzen is back in it and looking for a chance. Onto the back straight.
Hands up.
Hands up. Something's gone wrong. Potentially an issue somewhere out on track.
I think that might have been that issue we saw going into Golf Club a couple of laps earlier. Seems to be a red flag out at the moment.
So we'll have to restart this one if that's the case, or are they going to call it after 9 laps of action? Going to do a restart here. They'll bring them to the line and get them formed up to do a restart as the red flag definitely out here. So we'll have to restart this one, get it all sorted out. Let's see whether or not the guys that are maybe 3rd, 4th and 5th place. 643 is one of the carts involved there.
That's Bjorn Bertholdt.
He walks off holding his arm. I think he might just be a little bit sore from the incident. Let's do this restart. Here we go.
We seem to be missing a driver out of that pack though. As we head to the restart now, it's Josh De Paiva on the inside with Troy Snyman on the outside. They head down into turn 1. A lot of movement as always. Reza Levy down the inside. Luviu, a great start up into 3rd, but Wally's not going to have it. He's stuck over the curb and in the inside there to move himself up into 4th place.
Bertholdt with a better start as well, just in the mid-pack of this front end. And Koorzen now going side by side as they come into the 180s. So tight between the 2 of them. Casey Ansel Smith is the man that we got missing in that front pack. He must have got involved somewhere, or something's gone wrong with his kart. But Casey Ansel Smith unfortunately getting caught out here in the restart and not at the front end where he was earlier on. Levy leads out as they go down into the fast right-hander. But how tight is that between those 2 karts? Wow, Wally using that inside line and getting through and makes it up into 2nd place. This could play into Muhammad Wally's hands here big time. He was fighting for 4th and 5th place in the first part of the race, and now with the restart, he's going for the lead and could potentially get it here into turn 1. He's got it.
Oh, contact there. Reese Koorzen, Joshua De Paiva, and the Reza losing 3 places there on the rest of the pack. Troy Snyman gifted 2nd place. Leviva up to 3rd.
Leviva up to 3rd, which is perfect for him. The Squadra Corsa man coming through there doing a super job. But have a look and see what's happening in the mid-pack, because now it's a massive drop there for De Paiva. He's behind Koorzen, and as you can see, it's going to be a bit of a fight at the front. Muhammad Wally has just been gifted the win. With that little touch between those karters, unfortunately it's going to be costly, and he is going to be able to get away from the rest of this pack.
Reese pulling a brave move there on Levy into the golf club area. getting past him and allowing Josh De Paiva close onto the back of Levy. But they shouldn't be fighting with each other. They need to be moving forward and getting back onto the front there, getting onto the back of Wally. And we just on the outside there, you can see Casey Henshaw Smith parked off with a broken starter motor, unable to restart off the red flag.
Good move from De Paiva, getting through there on Levy into turn 1. Now looking to concentrate on his maneuvers to the front end. Sambudla under a bit of pressure, and Koorzen soaks it up, takes it on the inside, and gets through for what is now second place. There comes a good move as well. De Paiva's going to go with him. De Paiva goes side by side and eventually squeezes out. And unfortunately, Luviwe just losing out there in the bit of a fight for third, fourth, and fifth place.
Goes defensively on Levy, keeping Levy behind him for at least another corner. But Levy's down the inside, the same move we've seen from the bigger boys, Wayne Wyman. He does it again through the golf club and gets it done.
Must have been watching from the sideline to see if he can make that move stick, and he's done it. So now it is Reza Levy, the Razor, starting to make his way back up to the front end. Muhammad Wally with a massive lead. Troy Snyman fending off Koorzen. And Reese Koorzen, I think, could be the most dangerous man. Just putting in the fastest lap of the race. 47 dead. So watch out for Reese Koorzen. He is the man on the move. And all of a sudden, Troy Snyman could be in trouble.
Troy doesn't seem to have the pace that he had in the previous heat. Unable to run with Wally and getting caught by these three quite quickly.
Very quick maneuver here. That's Luviwe Sambudla, unfortunately losing out some ground now. Dropping down into the clutches of Bjorn Bertholdt and Divan Naidu. Divan Naidu starting to make a way up to the front end. They were there in the first start. Now with this restart, it's kind of just shaking things up in terms of who was there originally and who's there now. Reza Levy losing some ground.
I'm still mightily impressed with the position that Luviwe is in. The Squadron Corsa team running a strict program. They do really well to get their drivers up to the front. Hats off to them.
Koorzen to second. And it looks like De Paiva wants to go as well. Troy Snyman tries to come back at Reese as he comes out, but Reese Koorzen cements that move into second place.
Opens the door for De Paiva, but there's not enough room there for him to get past. Will he try to cut back again? Again, not enough room.
Yeah, not quite close enough, I don't think, to make that move stick. And also, he had to go defensive that time as Reza was right there too. So, four-way battle for second place. Look at Muhammad Wally. Head down and getting away. Koorzen in second, Snyman in third. And all of a sudden, we're in with a bit of a fight here for a second place. Because I don't think they've got enough time or laps to catch the man out front. Muhammad Wally gifted this victory.
They head into the chicane now. You'll probably see them move straight over to the inside as they head onto the main straight with the headwind. They all start moving defensive. Reese Koorzen not as defensive as he normally is, and that allows Troy Snyman and De Paiva to come through. That's how strong that headwind is. De Paiva now going to be looking on the inside into the first 180. Gets the move done on Troy. Troy just not going defensive like he was the previous two laps.
Yeah, and there you go. A great move coming through once again from Koorzen. He capitalizes on the open door policy there. And unfortunately, Troy Snyman losing out big time. Reza Levy now trying to capitalize on that mistake as well. He's not quite close enough there on the back end of Troy Snyman. But second and third now pulling away from Snyman. That could be dangerous. De Paiva looking for a chance if he can. It's going to be a tough day to try and catch Muhammad Wally out front. He's got a comfortable enough margin to just ease off ever so slightly and see the car to the finish line.
There's Casey letting him through, obviously getting lapped. Able to rejoin as Reese Koorzen goes past Joshua De Paiva into the first corner. Josh didn't go as tight as he should have there with Reese, with Casey in the way. So it just allowed Reese Koorzen to slip through.
Koorzen now looking to maintain second place. Troy Snyman going to apply the pressure on De Paiva. De Paiva going to soak that pressure up, and Reza Levy there as well. 4 carts looking for the checkered flag. And there's only a couple more laps to go, a couple more corners to play with for these youngsters. Micromax putting on a very, very good show here this weekend, particularly with this little battle. As they come flying through there, it is so tight. But Koorzen hanging on. De Paiva right on his tail. Snyman and Levy. Any one of them could potentially spoil each other's day. We're getting into the closing stages, and Muhammad Wally maintains the lead. But how's this? 4 carts, and I'd say about 0.4 of a second between them.
To throw a blanket over them, they're running so close. And they're trying to get past each other in different sorts of areas, but the defense is just way too good with the carts in front. So it's kind of just running nose to tail and waiting for the person in front of you to make a mistake.
Hopefully no nose cone infringements on this one. As they're getting into the closing stages here, they come down that back straight away. And Troy Snyman, unfortunately, just losing out ever so slightly there to the third place cart. He's third in the battle, but he's fourth on the road. And it looks like De Paiva looking for an opportunity here to just hang on for that top 3. The flag about to come out. Muhammad Wally, as I said, gifted it after a little bit of argy-bargy early on. He was just able to maintain the gap. Reese Koorzen comes through for second place, and Josh De Paiva hangs on for third, just to beat Troy Snyman and Reza Levy for 5. 6th place is Ken Swartz. Bjorn Bertholdt comes through there. A super effort from Bjorn to get up to 7th place. Stephen Naidu and Ethan Deacon in 9th place after a great heat of Micromax.
Yeah, I can only start off with thanking God again for helping me to win the second race and helping me to get away.
Did it all go well?
Yes, it all went well, but alhamdulillah, I won.
Wally, I took on a red flag, so I don't know if I'm first or second still, but I ended up second now. And I just quite a tough race, and I catched up because the red flag gave me more to catch up to the pack, and it was very good.
This round was a bit more hard because I couldn't really get to first because I got jammed in between Reza and Reese Koorzen. So then we were in second fighting for first. So it was pretty hard.
Micromax Heat 3 of 4. 12 laps of action coming away. Hopefully one start and one finish this time as they head down towards turn number 1. It's Koorzen on the inside. Reza Levy going to slot in, but unfortunately he's on the outside line and he may lose out 2 or 3 positions there, having to go the long way around turn number 1. Koorzen leads out. Looks like right on his tail, it's Muhammad Wally. Behind them, Troy Snyman and then Josh De Paiva. Eventually Reza Levy gets slotted into 5th place, having to go the long way around turn 1.
Casey Angel Smith getting on the inside there of Ken Swartz. The usual contenders in the mid-back here. Joshua Smith, Casey Angel Smith and Ken Swartz fighting it out with Leviwe.
Let's have a look and see what's going to happen at the front end. As we're seeing Reese Koorzen trying to open up the same kind of margin that Wally was able to do in heat number 2. But with the tensions firmly set there by not only De Paiva but also by Troy Snyman, not going to be an easy day for him. In fact, Muhammad Wally, I should say, not De Paiva. Very similar helmets on those two carts. Got to wait and see what color the cart is first before you call those two. As they come through turn 1, it's De Paiva down in 4th place. Levy in 5th. Koorzen going defensive. Muhammad Wally applying the pressure. Can't quite make his way past just yet, with Troy Snyman just tucked in behind him, looking for a chance if something goes wrong between the top 2.
Carbon copy of the previous 2 races. The front 5 running the same defensive lines, the same sort of driving tactics that they were running in the previous heats. Waiting for the driver in front to make a mistake. Waiting to try a little sneaky move up the inside, just like Joshua De Paiva did there on Troy Snyman. Getting his way into 3rd there just behind Muhammad Wally.
Good, so the 2 green helmets now, 2nd and 3rd. Off the track, Luviva Sambudla unfortunately parked on the sideline. Not quite where he wants to be, that's for sure, and Squadra Corso won't be happy about that. Unfortunately, he just ends up on the sideline here for heat number 3, but I'm sure he'll be back for heat 4's action. Now as they come down towards turn 1. First 4 have pulled ever so slightly away there from Troy Snyman. Troy Snyman seems to have a bit of an issue there on that last lap. He lost ground not only to the first 4, but also losing ground to the guys coming from the back end. So let's keep an eye on Troy Snyman's progress as he seems to be slowing ever so slightly. Looks like he's got it all sorted out now as they come out of the 180s.
I think that move from Joshua caught him off guard and it just allowed Reza Levy through. But down the back straight here, they seem to pull him quite drastically into the first part of the golf club. Almost 2-3 car lengths.
Now have a look and see. Watch for the guys coming out of the golf club, but look at the pack going into the golf club as well. Ken Swartz, Casey Ansel Smith, Joshua Smith, Bertholdt, Naidu, Deacon, Steer, and Mika Abrams. There are about 9 carts fighting for that second battle. Look at this. There's the first 5. Look in the background. Wow. Chaos coming from behind. Top class stuff in both the packs of racing here, but we're concentrating on this lead one because it is so close. And you can see just how tight it's getting now. The pressure being applied there. But Koorzen this time, soaking it up
super
and
deep into
magic. Magic stuff from Koorzen, eh?
Running super narrow, super deep into the second 80 and still gets out with a good enough drive to keep it. It's really strong driving and he's only 8.
Yeah, that's the incredible part about this. These guys are still youngsters. Absolutely amazing. The future of the sport looks so good when you watch this kind of racing from arguably our youngest drivers out there, and really no holds barred between these top 5.
I mean, the 2 boys behind him are the 2 oldest in the class and he's showing them a masterclass in how to hang on to the lead.
Koorzen hangs on for now. Wally and De Paiva and Levy. Snyman, half a cart length, but he's still there.
Ready to pick up any pieces or anything wrong. Reese goes wide, but has enough of a gap on Muhammad to hang on to the lead. Muhammad then coming deep to cover the second 180. He knows he didn't get the drive. Joshua looking for the cutback. It's going to be touched.
Oh, they touched.
Whoa.
They touched coming out of that second 180.
That looked like a bit of a door close there, but Joshua managed to hang on to it, stay on the circuit. Now there's work to do to catch Reza.
Yeah, and that's given an opportunity to the lead. Look at that. Because of that little touch, it's now about 6 or 7 kart lengths from first to second. And Muhammad Wally won't be happy about that. Josh De Paiva's not happy about it. He's having to fight off the attentions from Levy. Levy looking for a chance now as they come across the line. He dives on the inside. Has he been able to get through there? Very good chance he has. And no, it looks like De Paiva was just able to keep him out. Troy Snyman back into the mix as well. I think Levy might have just run ever so slightly wide and opened up the door there to give Troy Snyman a chance to get back into 4th place.
It looks like we've got a battle here for first and a battle here for third. The group kind of split up a bit as Joshua goes really defensive in the first 180. But he has a battle between Ken Swarth and Casey Enzel-Smith. Kent gets past him into the first 180, but the rest of the battle follows through. Unbelievable racing all the way through the field.
I love the fact that we still got 7 karts behind the top 5. So your top 12 putting on an absolutely amazing show here. Top 2 go through there. As you said, 1 and 3 is where the battle is. In fact, make that 1, 3, and 6, because he has 1 and 3, 1 and 2 fighting for the lead. 3, 4, 5, hard on the defensive there from De Paiva, keeping out the attentions of Snyman, and then this pack. Yeah, crazy action down into turn 1.
And these kids are only 8, between the ages of 8 and 12. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. Really, really top quality karting coming out of these youngsters, and of course, as I mentioned earlier on, it's fantastic for the future of the sport, because they really are showing that they've got what it takes. Now, back to the front. Reese Koorzen hanging on. Can he keep it all together now for the next couple of laps, next couple of corners, or is Wally going to just fight him off with 1 to go? Wally wants another victory, but of course, Muhammad Wally will also be thinking right now in that small 8 to 12-year-old brain about the overall championship, or will he? I don't think so.
No, hold on a second. Is he running a short game?
I'm talking rubbish.
No, it's about the win.
No, it's all about the win. It's got nothing to do with the championship. All they want is that checkered flag right now.
That's it.
At the end of the day, they'll realize, oh, that actually helped for the championship. Right now, they couldn't give.
I planned that.
Planning, what's that? There's no planning here.
Looking to switch back now into the first part of the golf club. He hasn't done it all weekend. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it now as we look back to the battle for third. No movement there through the golf club now. It looks like that's just how it's going to finish now if Joshua gets out of it alive.
Yeah, I think they're going to remain the same coming across the line. Koorzen is going to just keep out Muhammad Wally. And 1 and 2 across the line is Koorzen and Wally. Happy with that one. Wally is pretty happy as well there for second. As you can see, look at that. 0.061 of a second between those top 2. De Paiva comes through for third, Snyman for 4th, and Reza Levy. Well, that's how it's going to finish up, and it's kind of what we expected. Troy Snyman eventually dropping down there behind De Paiva, and of course Reza Levy, as we said, for the top 5. But then it was Ken Swartz, Casey Enzel-Smith, Joshua Smith, Bertholdt, and Naidu making up the top 10. Fourth and final heat now, and of course it's everything to play for here, buddy. Carlos, we've seen some great action in the Micromax, and it looks like it's going to be the same contenders fighting for the lead as we see Wally hit the front, De Paiva into second, Troy Snyman in the third, Levy fighting with Koorzen for 4 and 5.
Bit of climbing up the back there. I think that looked like Joshua Smith and one other. They're getting into a bit of a argy-bargy into the first corner, dropping them way down the field, but this has allowed the rest of them through. Bjorn Bertholdt and Ethan Sturr having a bit of a draw there, going onto the back straight with Casey Smith close in line. But the front pack here is Muhammad Wally out in the lead, Joshua De Paiva in second. Muhammad already got a 3 or 4 car gap on Joshua De Paiva, but with 4 karts or 5 karts chasing one, that gap's going to get shrunk very quickly.
Now they're going to have to work hard to try and get that lead and maintain that lead. Parked on the sideline there, that was one of the cars I think that you picked up on, Joshua Smith on the sideline. So out of this fourth and final heat, Wally from De Paiva as they come down into turn 1 again. Koorzen coming through there as well. Ken Swartz up there too. Much better start from him. and hopefully he can run with his front five. It'll just give us somebody else to talk about, because it's literally been the front five in these first 3 heats that have dominated and got away from the rest of the pack.
No, it's nice to have a new guest here in the pack. I didn't expect Kenton and Case them to show so well in Cape Town. Cape Town, a very difficult circuit, but Fabian Lance Racing Team, or Target Racing as they call now, obviously putting in a lot of the work in MBR to get these carts up into the front and run with the local boys.
It's great to see the camaraderie amongst these guys off the track, but on the track, the rivalry that happens, and there's no stopping the rivalry, particularly amongst these youngsters as they head down across the line over and into turn 1, and that gap has come down dramatically. Troy Snyman applying pressure onto De Paiva. De Paiva taking him along for the ride and bringing Levy too, and all 3 of them, and make that 4 of them just behind, and make that 5 of them, as you see a move there from Koorzen getting through, and now starting to resume where he was earlier on in these first 3 heats.
This group running just 0.1 quicker than Muhammad Wally at the moment, so 0.1 a lap. They're going to be on him in the next couple of laps.
I think Muhammad Wally just taking it a bit easier, realizing that there's still a long way to go in this race, but he can't take it too easy, otherwise, as you say, that gap is going to diminish very quickly, and that's exactly what's happening as De Paiva goes on the attack and brings along the rest of the pack for the ride.
You can see that headwind we had earlier is now turned into a crosswind, so the slipstream not as hectic as it was before, so that's why you don't see them all diving down to the inside of the circuit as they were in the previous 2 heats.
And you see that still defensive driving coming out of De Paiva. Snyman going on the attack, so is Levy. Levy looking to get on the inside of Troy Snyman. Troy Snyman under massive threat there as Levy looks left, looks right, can't find a way past just yet.
Muhammad Wally's gap just getting slightly smaller lap after lap, but he's managing to maintain it, managing to keep that just that little bit ahead. But I wonder if Josh De Paiva's got enough in the tank to get onto the back of it.
He's certainly pushing hard to do that, and it is coming down even more. And as they cross the line this time, you're going to see that gap diminishing, and I think it's about that time that we're seeing the pack come back together again.
A lot of movement there from Reese Koorzen. Reese Koorzen getting past Levy there as they head into turn 1 now, getting onto the back of Troy Snyman, and a bit of argy-bargy here between the 2 local boys. Not going to help their cause at all to get onto the front pack.
No, you don't want to be fighting against each other. You've got to work together right now. Got to close that gap down. Muhammad Wally still with about 4 kart lengths. That's come down to 3 as they get onto the back straight again. There's Koorzen on the inside of Levy. Oh, good move. Great move there from Koorzen. Made a stick this time, carried good corner speed, and maintains about half a kart length coming out of that section as well. Levy closes him down, but as they come across the line, there's big pressure now onto De Paiva from Troy Snyman.
Reese Koorzen, the quickest kart in the circuit at the moment, so he'll be onto the back of Snyman quite quickly as they head through turn 1 now. You can see how bumpy this circuit is as they head through that first part of the track.
You know, any part of the track is bumpy on this track, but you should try ride a motorcycle around here. The guys that do the 8-hour, they complain about the bumps all the time, but no worries at all. It's every man for himself, and it's every man that has to deal with the same kind of bumps and the same material that's out there on the black stuff. And it's big time being closed down now on Wally. Wally's lost out at least 2 or 3 kart lengths on that last lap, and Muhammad Wally is in trouble. They have closed down on him rapidly here into the last part, and I think Muhammad Wally is going to have to go defensive now. Yes, he is, because look at that. De Paiva is all over the back of him, and he's looking to go down the inside.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that. Muhammad Wally comes right across, and where is Koorzen going? Koorzen goes on the inside to keep out the rest of the pack and goes onto the grass himself. Ken Swartz nearly able to capitalize on that.
And again, there's more contact between Muhammad and De Paiva. I don't know if Muhammad's maybe making 2 or 3 moves instead of just staying straight line, but they keep seeming to make contact with each other, and it's brought the whole pack right back together.
Yeah, they're right in it now. Every single one of these guys have got a chance. Back markers could come into play here as well. Muhammad Wally goes defensive down that back straight away. Around the outside comes De Paiva. De Paiva going around the outside.
Around the outside.
That could work out. Oh no, not enough drive. Not enough drive to get into the second part of that final section of the track and out of the golf club. Oh, running onto the dirty stuff as well. Every which way but loose.
It's getting really tight here in the front now. It's Josh De Paiva. He's looking for that outside move again, and this time he's going to get it done. Unbelievable driving from Joshua. The latest of late breakings and managed to get around the outside of Muhammad Wally.
And into turn 1, that's not easy to do. So we've got a new leader for the first time in this race. It's De Paiva ahead of Wally. Wally under attack now from the second of those carts. All white livery, of course, of Troy Snyman. And the white helmet of Snyman looking to go through. Here we go, up onto the back straight. Josh De Paiva hangs on. Muhammad Wally trying to cut back on the inside, can't make it stick this time. Wally has to settle for second place right now. Snyman and Levy putting the pressure on. Koorzen in there as well, and Ken Swartz. Oh, any one of these top 6 can win this race.
Ken Swartz, our visitor to the group from earlier, managed to hang around a bit longer than expected. So it's going to be an interesting race in the front here. Oh, big smack from Troy onto Muhammad Wally, hitting him way wide.
Wally running wide and loses out 2 positions. Troy Snyman a little bit too hectic there, and you can see, in fact, he's dropped down 4 positions. Wally now comes back at Kent, gets through.
On the outside, good move there from Wally.
And now looking to get through on Koorzen. Koorzen looks behind him and realizes it's Wally. He's going to have to go defensive to keep out Muhammad Wally as he goes on the hunt to get back to the front end of the field.
You can see Sneeman's bumper took a big smack there, but whether it's in or not, we don't know yet. As we head now through the last part of Golf Club, Joshua De Paiva got a little bit of a gap on everybody else behind him, but it's not going to be long.
Possibility of that bumper being knocked in. We'll wait and see what the call is at the end of the race. But now all we're concentrating on is what's going to happen on the black stuff. De Paiva hangs on to the lead, goes defensive. Snyman with Levy. Then you got Koorzen and Muhammad Wally. Muhammad Wally trying a slightly different line there, looking for a cutback here into the 180s. No, he has to go defensive, but Koorzen runs wide.
After the apex, and he gets Reza Levy. What?
How was that?
That was brilliant.
Yeah, you just write that down, eh? Write that down.
Yeah.
For about lap 10 of 12, that's what you want to be doing. So Muhammad Wally up to 3rd place onto the back end of the man who cost him all the positions. Are we going to see a bit of retribution here from Wally on Troy Snyman? Snyman keeps him out for now as they come out of Golf Club. But it's De Paiva leading this pack of carts. And back markers are definitely going to play a role here in the final stages.
Head down onto the main straight. They're going to do their usual inside line. 1 lap to go. Snyman taking a little bit more than usual with a bit of grass. Running straight into the back of De Paiva there into turn 1. De Paiva, wise to it early in the brakes, managed to hang on to it. We're going to see it again into the first 180. There we go. But it cost him a place, so it didn't quite work out the way he wanted. Wally now up to 2nd.
Well, left to 2nd and now looking for a chance to get to the lead. He's going to try and find a way through on De Paiva. There's only one way to go now as they head down there, and that's around the outside. He's on the outside line. Oh, there's a touch between the 2 of them. Oh, that's big. De Paiva and Reza Levy had to take evasive action. He gets forced onto the dirty stuff and off the track. So De Paiva and Wally coming together. Troy Snyman capitalizes and dives through for the lead. Wally in 2nd and De Paiva into 3rd place. Troy Snyman going to hang on for the win here potentially, but who is going to get the nose cone infringements after this? There must be some kind of nose cone damage there. Wally diving onto the back end and tapping the back of Troy Snyman as he takes the win. But what is going to happen overall? Muhammad Wally's going to get the win. Josh De Paiva is going to get 2nd place, but have a look at this.
You see the movement here. There's the 2 movement again from Muhammad, and they make contact on the front wheel. That's never going to end well. How that kart stayed flat. Reza Levy taking evasive action, getting stuck into the grass, hitting a molehill, and that's it. You're stuck.
And he got stuck on the sideline there properly. But eventually he will be back on track. Not quite where he wanted to be, that is for sure. Confirmation of the results though. Muhammad Wally gets the win ahead of Josh De Paiva. Reese Koorzen comes through for 3rd. It's Swart, Steer, Casey Ensel-Smith, Sambudla, Snyman, Bjorn Bertholdt, and the top 10 is made up there by Mika Abrams.
It was good at the start. I managed to get in front, but then towards the end it got pretty tough because then I started to block, and then Wally, and on the last lap of the 6th last corner, Wally came and he clipped my bumper going into Golf Club, and then he came and then he went into me and then he clipped my bumper. And then I went on the grass, and same with Reza. Reza went into the tires, but I managed to hang on.